How good is Seattle?
I am not sold on Seattle, but I must admit, I was impressed on Saturday night. In fact, I was so impressed that I had to give in and poke some exceedingly and absurdly sarcastic fun at Seahawks fans on Twitter with a disrespectful compliment as if I don't even know which conference Seattle plays in. For the record.
Took some heat for that one, didn't you?
The Seattle fans taking heat for the last 3 months have been all over me, just taking over my Twitter site day after day after day, because I have been on record on this show, and you can attest to this. Sure. I don't know how many times we have done the NFC West, and I have said there's going to be one positive surprise in the NFC West, and that will be the Arizona Cardinals. Mm-hmm. One negative surprise will be the Seattle Seahawks. Now, I think they're being overhyped, but I do want to say to Seattle fans that I admire your fervor. These are the most passionate, rabid fans in all of sports to me, the Seahawks 12th man fans. They take over my, I can't even read my responses because it's just Seattle, Seattle, Seattle. So I must admit, I couldn't give you a straight compliment. I had to just do something sarcastic. Mm-hmm. Here's the point. They continue to create offense with their defense. Last year, they took everybody by surprise. I don't think that will happen this year. But I must admit, I thought Peyton would go in there a little better prepared to protect the football, Peyton and company. And so what happened right away? They're moving the ball on the second drive, and he hits Demaryius with a 20-yard catch that goes into Seattle territory, and he's stripped, and the ball goes the other way. And then they're going in to score from the 1-yard line. Running back goes in, he's getting hits, and Brandon Browner picks it up and goes 106 yards the other way. That is what Seattle does to you in Seattle, in large part fueled by the 12th man in Seattle. Everybody says it's the loudest outdoor arena in football. So my point is, can you live off that for this whole year? Can you go 8-0 again at home? I'm going to say no. People will be better prepared for the noise and protecting the football because their defense is their offense. And I still say, as much as I admire Russell Wilson, I'm just betting he's going to have something of a sophomore slump and come a little bit more back down to earth. That's just me.
Are you saying they may not make the playoffs?
No, I think they'll be a wild card team, but I do not think they'll win their division. And I'm going to save that until I see all the exhibition. What's that?
It's a tough division, too.
It's a tough division.
I mean,
but
there's
it's
no
going to be tough on me because I got to see how good Arizona does look to me, but they're looking better and better. Tyrann Mathieu is just he's just changing the way they play defense.
I'll have a word of caution for you that I tell to anybody who watches NFL preseason. Don't buy into the preseason hype. Whether it's good or bad, don't panic or don't get all in. So if you don't like Seattle, don't like them because they're playing well in the preseason. Just stay on against them. I think Seattle could be the second best team in the NFC, behind the team that they lost to on the road that they really should have beaten Atlanta. Because if you look at that game, the way it unfolded at the end of the game, that was Seattle's game in hand. You love Bruce Arians. I didn't realize how much. You were ready to put him in Canton. You're crediting all of Andrew Luck's success for him, and you're already saying Arizona.
I think he has offensive genius.
He is. That's very true.
Did you follow him in Pittsburgh?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. He is. Oh, he is. But I still think there are some other issues that Arizona is going to have to deal with. When I look at Seattle, I don't think Russell Wilson will have the drop-off. I think he's a franchise quarterback in every sense of the word. I think he's been proving people wrong since he was at NC State, since he went to Wisconsin and did it there too, since he was surpassed in the draft and was able to beat out Matt Flynn in the preseason.
You know what's funny? You watch a lot of college football.
I do.
I never saw last year's Russell Wilson at NC State or Wisconsin. Did you see that?
Oh,
absolutely.
I didn't. Well, I saw it even more so at NC State. I think he had 78-something touchdowns at NC State. I was consistently saying he was the most underrated passer just from throwing the football and that his size would hurt him. And that, sure enough, that is what got him. But I think also you look at from a leadership standpoint, what he brings to the table. Colin Kaepernick with San Francisco, I still want to see more. The body of work is not yet there yet. And I've said this before on this show. I think I said it Friday when we were on here with Freddie. It is a different circumstance when you come as the backup behind Alex Smith. Everybody loves you. You step into the limelight. Things are going good. Don't have to face that much adversity.
You think San Francisco could be the negative surprise in this division?
I do. I would, but I still think they'll make the wild. I still think it's between Seattle and San Francisco. I think they're both excellent teams, but I think when it comes down to it, I think Seattle is better. I think the loss of Michael Crabtree, their leading receiver for the 49ers, no more Randy Moss. They've lost some offensive production, and I think, well, he's a little bit up there in age. I love Anquan Bolden, what he brings to the table, But I think he would have been better with Crabtree on the other side. Now, if he's going to be the guy, that's where I start to
Chris,
question.
get in here.
I think Seattle, along with San Francisco and Atlanta, I think those are the 3 best teams in the NFC. I'm kind of like Stephen A. I love Aaron Rodgers, but I'm not ready to put Green Bay in that group. So I think those 3 teams are the best in the NFC. I'm with you on Russell Wilson. I think he's going to be tremendous, not only because of his skills, but his leadership and his character.
Yep.
I think that team is fully behind him. I think they believe so much in him. I think in certain ways it's almost like the impact Tim Tebow has on teammates, but Wilson's just a much better quarterback. But I think they just admire his character, the way he lives his life, his leadership, and all that. And defensively, I mean, that's not a negative, what you mentioned, because it's not like they only have defense. Yeah, their defense is the best in the league, strong against the run and the pass, but their offense is good too. It's not like they have to rely on their defense to create points. If their defense doesn't create points, Wilson will still get you points. Marshawn Lynch, I mean, got a great running game. So I don't see what's not to like about this Seattle team.
No Percy Harvin. That was electricity they have not had before.
They didn't have it last year either.
Yeah,
their receivers are ordinary to me. Not
they were last year.
Okay, I agree.
Right.
I'm with you. Marshawn, not ordinary, but can he stay healthy the whole year? They're going to be able to just battering ram people. I don't know. I think they're average on offense at best. The defense can be spectacular at home. It can be good on the road. It was not great against RG3, and here I go on RG3 again, but I mean, Washington just took the ball and went whoosh, whoosh, 14-0. But before the second whoosh, they got in the end zone, he tweaked his knee. They still scored. Again, if he's healthy the rest of the game, do they win that game going away? I say they do.
We don't know that. I mean, how many times have you seen a team start a game off well, particularly a playoff game, and then the other team comes? We saw it in the
Atlanta
Super Bowl.
Falcons.
We saw it in the Super Bowl. Yeah,
both those
exactly.
Games.
So I'm not ready to say Seattle doesn't win that game if RG3 is healthy. I mean, we don't know what would happen.
Back to your original question, do I think Seattle will win the wild card? I do put stock in preseason. I'm going to watch the next 2 games, and I'm not completely sure I'm going to say that.
If you had to pick a quarterback, would it be Russell Wilson or Colin Kaepernick?
Kaepernick.
Really?
Well, it's 6'4", and again,
when you talk about the intangibles, I think Kaepernick has made some rookie mistakes this offseason. And he's not a rookie. I mean, he's been around. And those are
But wait, hold on,
all
Danny,
the publicity, the wearing the Dolphins hat and then not apologizing for it, saying I'm going to wear what I want to, and then apologizing for it. Just a lot of those things. I mean, instead of deflecting it to every quarterback that's a franchise quarterback, Brady, Manning, Rodgers, they typically deflect the attention away from themselves. And that doesn't mean they can't do endorsements, as we've seen Kaepernick do, but they always deflect it back towards a team and towards winning championships. And that's what I like about Russell Wilson.
He's a different style. I mean, Kaepernick has been out there, and he seems to really enjoy the spotlight that he's getting. I like Kaepernick. I think physically I like Kaepernick actually better than Russell Wilson, but I go with his
6'4",
but his intangible.
I like it too, but I like Russell Wilson as a pure passer better than Kaepernick. If you look at what he brings, he's got a strong arm, but I haven't seen him be able to diversify on the field and make some of the different throws, a little bit more of the touch passes. I think he's got a hose for an arm. But I think Russell Wilson has a lot more touch, a lot more accuracy, a lot more ability to read out defenses and then make throws accordingly, where Kaepernick brings you a lot more running the football and making plays off the cuff. And Russell Wilson still can do those things as well. His running ability, I think, is underappreciated because you're comparing him to RG3 and to Kaepernick, guys who are phenomenal.
Over time, when you're, I don't know what they say is 5'10", I'm going to give him 5'10", still have a hard time finding the alley, trying to see.
He might be close to Drew Brees.
No.
He might be 6 feet.
You don't think he's close?
5'11".
You know what? I've stood next to Drew Brees. His height is underestimated.
It is. It is.
Seriously,
they knock you down at the combine.
6'1" to 6 feet.
Right, but
Seriously.
still, it's undersized for an NFL quarterback. When most guys are 6'4", 6'5".